All right, guys, that was one of the oddest matches in Alliance tournament history. 3 people jumping out of the arena.
I think Elise Randolph took control of their accounts. I think somebody must alert the GMs and go investigate if some account sharing has taken place.
So the Alliance tournament has some rules in place, making sure that you can't just switch Alliance back and forth. Was this what basically trapped Perihelion?
I think so. I think they had a bunch of other people in another alliance that they planned on bringing in as their tournament team and do it under the Perihelion name. They applied, then realized that it gotten caught under that rule. They had just a handful of people who could fly, and apparently some of them couldn't make it this weekend. So they just kind of filled it a comedy setup to go out there and, show up, but didn't really have much of a chance, and they knew it.
Yep, they had 6 pilots last week, 5 micro jump driving battleships in the logistics. Actually killed the logistics of the enemy team, so not bad on them. But I think that we now have the New Eden Open, where you are allowed to form essentially super teams, the best of the best, from anywhere in EVE Online, in all of New Eden. But the Alliance tournament is really the alliance that you live with. They're the group that you live with all year. It's like the Olympics. You don't just, like China doesn't hire like Michael Jordan or someone a long time ago to play basketball for them.
No, I mean, in FIFA you kind of have people who can do that, but Switch.
That's not a real sport.
Kept tight.
That's correct. FIFA is not a real sport.
FIFA, well, okay.
All right. So a little bit disappointing, although some of the other matches have been super exciting. Remember that we are giving away the Alien X51. Words will appear randomly on the screen, and if you can string them together at the end of the Alliance tournament, you will have the chance of winning the Alienware X51.
Does the CCP Soundwave Eve TV host count as some of those words?
No. Well, maybe. They could. It's a mysterious word contest. No,
They might not even be words. They might be like alien words.
They might be, and you have to kind of string them together into something interesting.
Well, apparently it's a secret password contest.
I see it
the
right
word.
there.
Would be a hint.
Because. All right. Well, that's probably one of the words, I'd wager. So moving on now. So Perihilion's out. If they don't actually have the people, then maybe it's good that we kind of get them out of the way. CVA setup though, if we didn't really see what it's capable of, but theoretically at least, what do you think of it?
I like ham legions. They're very effective. They have a fair bit of damage. They're very, very tanky. You can make them really tough.
Yeah.
The issue is getting them on top of things to apply those ham damage is kind of fairly short range, and armored legions aren't the fastest things, so they have to apply their tackle properly. But I think it's a good setup. I'm not sure how it'll fare against some of the more popular setups, but if they ban strategically, I think it can do well.
Yeah, CVA so far has been a little bit too predictable, though. They've brought similar-ish setups all the time, and that might go against them later on in the tournament, but let's see.
So what's a ham legion?
A ham legion is, so legions at base level are strategic cruisers. In the EVE Online, strategic cruisers are module cruiser hulls, T3s, as they're typically called, where you can fit in different modules to sort of change the whole outlook of the ship. The Legion has a module that improves its heavy assault missile damage, so they're very up close, brick tanking armor ships that do a lot of upfront damage with heavy assault missiles.
So not a traditional laser ship for the MR.
Yes. They are, if I was more aware of RP, I know who's like the guy who makes the...
I don't know, it's the Conid race, though. And you'd think it would turn black like the Damnation, which is also Conid, but yeah, I guess that's the missile kind of a MAR ships in the niche there. So
CCP Art Department, looking at you.
I believe it was Amarian Princess Amidala who put it together for the first Jove War. I've been writing a bit of storyline stuff lately, and I think that's it.
Is that what all those crayons are for at your desk?
Yes. I'm not. I'll profess I'm not the big RP expert. I'm not. But there is an Amarian Princess, isn't there?
There's several, I believe.
Really?
There's been a lot.
All right. All right. Well, so moving on to the next match. It is Rainbow Dash Friends versus Noli Secunda. Noli Secunda we've seen a few times before.
Yep. They are a big fan of broadswords in Alliance Tournament 10. One of the strangest setups I've ever seen win a match pretty handily. But they're one of the big members of N3, one of the big coalitions on Tranquility, our live server. Actually, one of their members, Pro God Legend, is a member of the Council of Stellar Management.
Oh, interesting. So we saw a flagship, an Armageddon. We typically see that there are these faction ships or these like not Tech 1 or T1. Like, why an Armageddon?
Well, the Armageddon recently underwent a rebalance by CCP Rise, who you'll be seeing later today for those of you who are interested in exceptionally handsome men
Yes.
who know a lot about T1 battleships.
Mhm.
So it's new bonuses to drones are exceptionally useful bonuses in the Alliance tournament. They're really strong utility bonuses, and it's basically like a smaller Balgorn with drones instead of webs.
And it
And-
it could also be something if they want to be able to apply the cap pressure, they expect Belgorn to be banned out. And it gives it the other option. You get an Armageddon flagship if you want a cap pressure heavy setup. If they ban Armageddon, you can still bring your flagship Armageddon, so they still have the option to field that there, and it kind of adds another dynamic. And the other team knows that they have 2 possible battleships that have long range nukes that can be brought.
Absolutely, yeah. I think they probably chose it for the bans to give them the ability to do more cap warfare and bring perhaps a Balgorn with the flagship Geddon if Geddon is banned. I don't know, we've seen many Geddon bans yet. It wouldn't perhaps be the ship to ban in this tournament so far anyway, but we'll see how the meta develops.
So, we've seen the Dominics getting banned out a lot. That was maybe the predominant meta last weekend. What do we think that's going to shift this week?
Well, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, what would
Navy
be
Scorpions.
Navy Scorpions?
Yes.
I don't think we're going to drop the Dominics ban. I think that if we see a match where neither team bans the Dominics, either one team is bringing a Dominics counter, hoping to bait the team into bringing 3 Dominics or some variation of a Dominic setup, or they're just both going to bring Dominic setups, which actually provide for pretty highly entertaining matches. We saw triple MJD Dommies versus triple MJD Dommies last weekend, and that was a really fun match.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think Dominics is going to stay to be flavor of the month ban. You may see some matches, like he says, people think they have a strong counter to it, and so they're going to ban Dommies and try to bring that. But I think we may see some epic failures if that happens. We may see a few successes. Those will make for interesting matches.
Yeah, I think when we go to the final weekend, we're going to see dummy bans dropping off because teams at that point would know how to counter them. It's not hard to counter a dummy setup. It really is.
What would be a good setup to counter it?
I'd be killed if I told you. Pretty much all of the teams by now who will go to the final weekends would have tested a lot, and they would have different strategies on how to beat them.
Why no dummy flagships?
No, there is.
Oh, there is
Hydra.
one.
There is one.
There's
Right.
one.
Why not more? If it's such a
Well-
powerful ship right now.
Well, what you usually want to put into your flagship is officer or strong meta damage mods for your guns, and there isn't a lot of officer drone damage mods. There are some, but not a lot. So perhaps the team that is bringing it has the funds or has managed to find one of the 5.
Mandatory drone region ratting for a month before the tournament.
Well, and the other thing also being, I guess we'll get back to that a little later. But
All right, we do have Rainbow Dash Friends versus Nulli Secunda. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go with Nulli Secunda.
yeah, we'll go with Nully. Hopefully we don't see any broadswords this time, though.
I think I'm going to have to go with my bronies and go with the Rainbow Dash.
All right, I'm going to go with Nulli Secunda as well. They traditionally are very entertaining and really good. So let's go to the match.